Hi guys, what's up? How you doing? How I got to my face? Anyways, I'm granting an interview today in my kids' school about how it's life as an immigrant settling in from Nigeria and all that. So I was invited last week and today is the day. So they sent some questions to me to prepare, and did I prepare? You find out. So I hope it goes well. I'm just coming from work. This is what I'm going to be wearing. So I hope it goes well.
All right, everyone. This is Adeza's mom. This is Abdul Salami, and we're here just to talk about life and to learn about what their family's life has been like, coming from Nigeria to Canada. Mm-hmm. So why don't we start off? Why don't you tell me a little bit about your family?
Well, we are Nigerians. We came in last 2 years, precisely October 2022 from Nigeria. We're a close-knit family. We're loving. We're happy being here. It's really exciting leaving Nigeria to this place. It came with a lot of unknown, but coming here, we love it here. So we're a family of, we have 3 kids, my husband and I, and 3 kids, and they're all here. They're happy being here. They're absolutely happy being here, and I'm happy that they're happy being here. Yeah.
So with you, what were things like back in Nigeria before you moved here?
Before moving here?
Yeah.
Life in Nigeria was fun. Of course, you're home with your family, your relatives, your friends. Of course, where you were born, we really miss it. Nigeria is really a fun place. It's all summer. The weather is always very warm. So whenever it's always warm, everybody's outside, right? So it's a fun place to be. You're around the family and friends. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
So what were, if you were going to do something fun with the family back in Nigeria, what were some of the things you would do?
A lot. From visiting to going to the beach, because it's always summer, as I said.
Right.
Going places, a lot of activities everywhere. A lot of events like weddings, naming ceremonies, like when you have a baby. There's always something to go out to do, weekends. So we always look forward to the weekend. Of course, everybody looks forward to the weekend, but back home, there's always something happening. Like your sister gave birth, your brother's wife, your this or that. So there's always something to do.
There's a community.
Yeah, it's a very large community, and we're very communal in nature.
Okay.
We interact a lot. We attend each other's events and all that. So it's really fun back home.
That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I know, sometimes in different parts of the world we eat different kinds of food and things like that.
Yeah.
What are some things that you miss from back home?
A lot. A lot of things. I miss our traditional food, like the jollof rice. Do you know about the jollof rice?
I don't.
Nigerian jollof rice, it's the best in the world.
Okay, I'm a bit of a foodie, so I like different kinds of food.
The jollof rice, the fried rice, the rice and stew, the pounded yam with soups, different soups. In fact, I can't even mention the number of soups we have. We have beans, we have traditional foods that are assigned to different communities. Every tribe have their own their own dishes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I miss all of that. It's a lot of food. So coming here, we usually, when you see a Nigerian coming, if they have 10 luggages from back home, you'd be very sure that 8 contains food items. Yeah.
So 8 of food items.
8 bags contains the food items, because it's very hard getting it here.
Okay.
We do get it here, but it's very, very expensive.
Oh, okay.
Very, very expensive. So we have African stores.
Okay.
But in Winkler we don't have one yet, but I hope we do very soon.
Yeah,
we have to go all the way to Winnipeg to get Nigerian African food. So all those are foods that we miss. I know there are plans to open an African store here.
Okay.
Yeah, we've been hearing it everywhere. We can't wait for it to come.
Well, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Talking about your family, in terms of, do you have any kind of family traditions or things that you like to celebrate with your family?
Yeah, we do, especially like the religious activities, like we're Muslims.
Okay.
Yeah, so when it comes to Ramadan, Eid celebrations, like we have celebrations after the Ramadan fasts.
Okay.
When we do the fasting, we have the small Eid, we have the big Eid. Those are kind of traditions, family things we do together where we go visiting, we cook food for different families, we carry food from one family to the other, they exchange food, visiting, sleepovers, then like the slaughtering of rams.
Okay.
For the big Eid celebration. It's really fun. It's something children really look forward to because they tend to participate in the slaughtering of the ram and all that, the frying, the cooking. It's a lot of activities.
Just communal, getting together,
things, yeah.
celebrating.
And even for the Christians, the Christmas celebrations, the Easter, like over here, it's more fun.
Okay.
Compared to this place,
So let's pump it up.
Everybody's on the streets, the kids are wearing new clothes. Definitely when there's a celebration, the kids must have new clothes. Like
Right.
they always look forward to that. They're always on the street, so you get to know that something is happening.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course here it's more like subtle, it's more like family, indoor activities when it comes to like Christmas and all
Yeah, with
that.
your own family,
You're just
right?
within yourself by the fireplace. No, we're outside, like we are out, like yeah, those are part of the things we celebrate.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot, yeah, we miss it.
Yeah. I know some students might know about Eid and some in our community might not be familiar with Ramadan and Eid. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, so Ramadan, Eid is particular to the Muslims.
Okay.
Yeah, so we once in a month, in a particular month, we call the Ramadan month. We fast for the whole month.
Okay.
So after the fasting, we just finished the Ramadan fast recently. So after the fast, we do the Eid al-Fitr. That is like a celebration after the fasting.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, after like a number of maybe 40 days, then we have the big Eid. That's the Eid Fitr. Eid Kabir, sorry. That's the big Eid celebration.
Okay.
Each family who can afford like to slaughter a ram, buys a ram for a particular family, and then you slaughter just like a sacrifice to God.
Okay.
To appreciate God and all that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there other major in Nigeria? Any other big holidays that are celebrated, or?
Yes, like apart from the public ones that are for everybody, like New Year and all that, it's particular to different communities. So let me tell you a bit of Nigeria. Like we have different tribes.
Okay.
So we have three major languages: the Hausa, Yoruba, and the Igbo. So these three major languages have particular events they celebrate on their own.
Right.
Yeah, so it depends on what tribe you are.
Right.
Like if you are the Igbo person,
Okay.
part of what to look forward to is like the New Yam Festival. Because when, like during the harvest season, the first set of yam, do you know the yam tuber?
I know what the yam is.
Yeah. So the first one that is harvested for that year, it's celebrated like
Okay.
a big celebration in the Igbo community. They even replicate it in over here, like in the US. I know some group of people, Igbos that are a lot in a particular place, come together to also celebrate the New Yam Festival. So they tend to cook, make pounded yam, make soups and share and just to celebrate. Then if it's for the Yorubas, they have their own particular events that they celebrate, like, you know, and the Hausas also, they have particular things that they celebrate. So all these mixed up, you always see something is going on in different communities.
So what would be your background, Laura?
Which
Like your background, would you be from one of those tribes?
yeah,
or?
so I am from Kogi State, and my own tribe is Ebira.
Okay.
So it is like should I say minority? Well, like part of the minor tribes.
Okay.
So we have over 774
Wow.
tribes.
That's a lot of tribes.
It's a lot. So the major ones are the Hausa, the Yorubas, and the Igbos. So me, I'm from Kogi State, which we speak the Ebira language.
Okay.
Yeah. So we also have our own traditional events that we celebrate,
Right.
mostly in the villages, not really in the cities. So when it is happening, we tend to travel back home to attend such festivals,
Right.
such events that will bring out masquerades, go around, dance, scare people around, collect money. So all those things. Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
It's a lot of So that's why when we come over here, we tend to be like, oh, it's boring out here, nothing is happening.
Right.
We tend to just try to create something. Like when it's end of the year, you see the Nigerian community planning to just do something, to mix up, to cook, to interact with each other.
To bring that joy, that life.
Bring that joy, and yeah, because when it's winter, there's no chance to do anything.
Well,
so we're looking forward to the summer. Like we're already planning. We're going to do a hangout. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So
there are things you can do in winter, but it is different.
yeah, it's mostly indoors.
It's
Nobody
indoors
knows
most
about
of the
it.
time. Or
Yeah.
you could cross-country ski or snowshoe.
No,
No.
I want to dance to music. Yeah, exactly.
So, with your family moving here, what was kind of the big factor that brought you here to Winkler?
Well, as you know, Nigeria, Africa is like a developing country, and most people that move back here actually want to give, mostly for the kids,
Okay.
to give them the best in terms of education, lifestyle, and all that. So not saying that back home there is nothing like that, because we actually grew up there. We had
Right.
our education and all that, but most people tend to want to train their kids abroad.
Okay.
So we have people back home that send their kids to Canada, the US, the UK to school.
Okay.
So instead of doing that, we just feel, okay, why not just relocate together with them to give them basically mostly education
Right.
and a kind of brighter future
Opportunities,
yeah. So that's basically what brought us from Nigeria down to Canada. And okay.
What does the education system look like in Nigeria?
Well, education in Nigeria is compulsory.
Okay.
It's compulsory for every kid to go to school. So we have the privately funded education, and we have that by the government. That by the government is free.
Right.
So when you have kids go to school sponsored, we have government schools, both primary, secondary, university.
Okay.
So for the primary, secondary, it's free. They just pay some little levy, just like what we have here, that you say just at the beginning of the session, just some kind of token to just register or something.
Buy some
Not
school
tuition
supplies.
fee. Yeah, school supplies and all that. Not tuition fee. That is handled by the government. Primary, secondary. Then for the universities and tertiary education, tertiary institutions, it is subsidized. The tuition fee is way lower than privately owned universities.
Okay.
Yeah, so education, so in that way we can just say it's free, sort of. It's just that in the university you have to pay, but it's lower. So if you want to go to the university, you choose to go either to the private or to the government, depending on your level of income.
Right.
You know which one to send your kids to. Yeah. So
did you and your husband get any tertiary education?
yeah, we did. So we had the primary, the secondary, the university, and we both have master's degree.
Okay.
Yeah. So back home, the standard is the standard is to have a university education.
Right.
It's compulsory.
Yeah.
It's already in your mind, I'm going to
You're
school,
going, yeah.
I must go to the university. You finish from primary school, the next thing you're looking to go to secondary school, the next thing you're thinking to go to the university, and you step it further by having your master's
Right.
and even PhDs.
Right.
So you notice when you see most Nigerians out here, the least they have is a BSc.
Yeah.
Like it's university degree.
Yeah.
So because when it comes to job, when you're looking for job and all that, the first degree is like the basic. You want to have an edge over other people, so you must step ahead to do like a master's degree. So my husband and I, we both have masters.
In what field?
I have my BSc and MSc in economics.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and my husband has his first in mass communication.
Okay.
Yeah, he has his master's too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, even I don't have a master's degree. I've just applied to start my master's.
Oh, great.
Here I have it works. You get a bachelor's degree, and then education is 2 more years, and then I have a post-bac, which is 1 more year, which was focused on counseling. And then now the master's I'm just going to be starting next year. So, yeah, it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And we noticed back here, the children kind of have a choice to further their education after the high school or do something else. Like, no, I don't want to go to the university. Like, to us, it's like...
That's just what you do.
It's just normal for you to want to go to university. But I see that the society is different, because back home, if you don't have like your master's, your BSc, the kind of jobs you tend to be exposed to is limited.
Right.
But over here, I notice mostly you get your certifications, you get a license, you're good to go. Like,
depending on the job.
Depending on the job, yeah. So, but back home, the basic is, first of all, you must first have this, and before even thinking of applying for most of the jobs.
So coming over here, then, finding a job, was that difficult? Is it frustrating knowing that you have a master's and maybe it's not recognized here in the same way?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you really did a lot of work to get your master's, and coming here, it's not, well, maybe as I said, depending on the job, but for me, it was kind of frustrating. So when I came, I didn't find it hard to get a job. Within the first 2 weeks I came, I got a job. I started with McDonald's. I was part of the kitchen crew. So that one is just, I didn't really need any qualification, right? So it was very easy. And then I transitioned to working from home, customer care representative for a telecoms company. And then I was always looking forward to wanting to go back to what I was doing back home, because I was working in a bank back home in Nigeria, and I really wanted to continue. I just wanted to see how banking is in Canada, if it's the same thing with back home in Nigeria, because it's kind of stressful, demanding back home. So when I got to know that it's not really that stressful, I decided to go for it. So
you find banking's very different here?
Yeah, it's very different.
Okay.
It's very, very different. Like, my former colleagues back home be like, you went back to banking in Canada? I'm like, yeah. So they can't like relate, because it's quite stressful back home. Over here, it's quite lenient, it's okay. Of course, we still have targets to meet. But it's mostly, your target is mostly by the existing customers you have. You don't have to go out looking for people. It's allowed to do that, but you're not really mandated to go out looking for more customers to come into your bank. And we just leverage on the customers we have to like expand what they hold with it. So if you just have like a checking account, for example, we try to see how you could also have other products, your mortgage, your lines of credit and all that in the institution.
That's very neat. Which bank are you with?
Scotia Bank.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a financial advisor.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, no, that's exciting. And at least it's using some of your education.
Yeah, exactly.
A little bit of it, maybe.
I'm using something, exactly. Though I had to get licensed, because to be a financial advisor here, you have to be licensed. So immediately I got the job, I was registered by Scotiabank to obtain my license. So most times it's a criteria for you to be employed in a bank. You need to have that certification first. But in my own case, I guess I was lucky to be employed, and within the first 6 months, I was mandated to get the license to be able to operate. So
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at moving to Winkler specifically, what are some of the cultural differences you've noticed? Like Winkler, it's a city, but it's a small town.
Yeah.
So culturally, what have you noticed with this town? Because I know not everywhere in Canada is the same. This is kind of...
Yeah, though I don't have much experience in other parts of Canada, this is like my first place coming into Canada. Well, it was kind of like a very, very big shock the way everybody was just nice.
Okay.
Everybody was just nice, smiling, accommodating. There was a time my husband was like, why are they nice? Like, why are they? Because not like where we're coming from, people are not nice, but it was like a shock to us. Especially when you like come forward and say, I need help. Everybody is like ready to help you, you know. So it was like a very big shock to us. Well, talking about, okay, can I talk about the weather? Like,
yeah, anything.
So the weather was like, I can't even explain it. Like, it's a shock. We thought we were prepared for the winter. We thought we were prepared for Canada. Like everybody's like, Canada is really cold. We're like, we've had that a lot. It's okay, we'll be fine. And we came in end of September, and we came in at about 17 degrees.
Okay.
So when we came out of the airport to board our Uber taxi, I ran back into the airport. I'm like, what? And the guy that came to pick us was wearing a shirt and just a normal shirt to pick us. And I was like, it was freezing at 17 degrees. So he was like looking at me like, are you okay? Like, are you sure you want to be in this country? Like, but still enjoying post-summer and you're complaining?
Yep.
So when the winter started proper, I was like, okay, I understand why I was looking very unserious when we came in at 17 degrees and I was complaining. So it's a very, very big shock to us, like the weather, because back home, it's around like 35 degrees, almost like averaging.
Okay.
And in Nigeria, I came from Sokoto State. Anybody watching will know where Sokoto is. The extreme northern part of Nigeria. It's like the hottest part of Nigeria.
Right.
So we can have 40 degrees in Sokoto State and it's normal.
Right.
It's normal to them. So coming from a 40 degrees to 17 degrees and to negative, you know, it's really different. Yeah, and other cultural shocks, like, yeah, that's basically...
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
The weather was a huge shock.
It's a huge shock.
Have you been able to build, you talked about family and community back in Nigeria and that you kind of missed that.
Yeah.
Have you been able to build some of that here? Has it been a challenge?
Well, we have a little bit of Nigerian community here. And you know, for you to be able to relocate with the pathway I came in with, you have to have a relative here ready to bring you in. So coming here, we had like a soft landing. We have a relative already. Okay. So we got introduced to the Nigerian community, even though we're few, but we're very close. Okay. Mostly distant relatives, so we're very, very close. So trying to expand to have friends with the Canadians and people from other communities, it's been good. Even though we tend to feel like maybe they will not be really accommodating and so, but I have a couple of people that reach out to me, like they came, like they want to be my friends. Okay. Like there was a time we bought something on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. So my husband and I went to pick it up from the house. Right. And we were just ready to just pay at the door and just leave. Like she was like, no, come in. And we picked it, we paid, and she was still like chatting with us, like, do you want coffee? Do you want tea? I'm like, what's going on? Like, and afterwards she kept my contact. We didn't relate. Do you want to have tea? Let's hang out in McDonald's. She was really nice. Well, that's and that's just one person. A lot of people, once you just show you're open, they're ready to make friends with you. So I have a couple of friends from other nationalities, like from Ukraine. Yeah. Like I never knew I could meet or make friends with people from other countries, if not from here. You know? Well, and it's been interesting looking even in our hallways. We have people from all over the place. A lot of places. Like even apart from people from Africa, you tend to meet different people. Even my line of duty, my job,
Yeah.
I tend to meet a lot of newcomers, people I can relate to it coming from different places. So
Yeah.
it's been nice, yeah, and good.
If there were anything, is there anything else that you'd want kids to know about either Nigeria or your family, or kind of moving to Canada, what it's like? What would you share?
Well, moving to Canada, it wasn't very easy for us. Like, the decision to leave everything from back home to come start afresh, and the children having to leave their friends where they're used to. They had that fear, like, will I make new friends? Will they like me? Will I be able to interact with them? Will they be able to understand me?
Right.
Will I be able to understand what they're saying, like the accents?
Right.
So we had all those fears, and we are really happy we made the move, actually, especially for my kids, because if as parents your kids are not happy where they are, what's the point, right?
Right.
They are really, really happy being here. They love coming to school.
That's good.
They love school. Like, if I want them to do something, like, I'll be like, okay, no school for you, then you won't go to school. You see them, no, I have to go to school. Even when they have dental appointments, or they'll be like, they want to come back to school after the appointment. Like, I'm like, why do you like school so much like that? So that feeling alone makes us as parents happy. And I'm speaking for other people too, other newcomers over here, knowing that especially your kids are happy where they are.
Yeah.
It's just the best. So we're happy, we are loving people. Though some kids tend to like stay, like they don't want to come close, like they don't even know how to approach you most times. Usually talking, they don't know how you will respond to them, being like different colors and all that. But we're just open, we're loving people. My kids are ready to make friends. They love it here, and
Have you noticed that a lot with people, because your skin's a different color, that they're afraid to
I would
interact?
say afraid. They just try to keep away, like they don't even know how to start.
Okay.
Because they don't know how you're going to respond. Because I also have that feeling sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I would want to like maybe approach you, but I'll be like, how open is she to? Has she ever spoken to someone of my color or something? So I'll just tend to hold back. So I think it's
well, and part of the reason I want to do this is so that people do talk more and get to know each other.
Just most immigrants are ready to interact. Definitely, they're ready to interact. So sometimes you may just feel they're not open. It may just be that they're shy.
Yeah.
They're shy and they don't even know where to start from. But once you break the ice, you come close. You will even forget how everyone looks.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Do you have any, before we end, because I think we'll wrap up very soon,
Okay.
do you have any like fun stories from your family that you'd like to share, or experiences? Could be back home in Nigeria or here.
Well, over here, when my kids were anxious to see our first snow, because we've never seen snow before coming here, except in the movies.
Right.
So we're always watching the weather forecast to see when it was going to snow. And when it's finally snowed, oh my God, my kids didn't want to come inside. They wanted to sleep outside. Like, we have to beg them, please come in. Like, they were really excited to see the snow. I was also very excited because I didn't even know how it is. So I was like looking at it like, oh, this is snow. Like, it's, and the way it's, the purity of the snow, the way it's just pure white, it's brightened up everywhere, It's really like breathtaking. We've never seen such before. So I speak for a lot of people, because I know a family that told me that they are up to like 2 years over here.
Okay.
And she said, do you know, sometimes I still stand by my window and I just look outside like, wow, God is great. Like, looking at the snow and everything, and looking at we always see these lights in the sky.
The northern lights?
The northern lights. We only see it in movies, and I was able to experience it. I sent picture to my sister back home, and she's like, wow, this is another world,
Yes. Sometimes,
Yeah.
especially in winter, but you'll get these amazing light shows in the
yes.
sky.
And if you have a very good camera, you'll be able to capture the movement and all that.
And if you ever get out into the woods where it's even darker, if you go camping or something,
Yeah.
and you see that even
I'm
better.
trying to push my husband.
To go camping?
Oh, yeah. He's not an outdoor person.
I think he might have fun.
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
I love to camp.
He will like it eventually, but just pushing him out is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And canoeing. I love to canoe.
Yeah, we went fishing last year.
Nice. Where'd you go?
We went to the Delta Beach at Portage.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we went there. For the first 2 hours, we didn't catch any fish. And he was like, are we going to go back all the way to Winkler without fish? Because we took big containers to pack fish. Like, we're going to fish and
Right.
get a lot. The first 2 hours, we didn't make anything. So we met some families there that they were just catching for fun.
Yeah.
They'll catch, they'll snap, and then they'll throw it back into the river. And they saw that we really wanted to take fish home, and they were like, do you want this? I was like, yes, we want it. So most of we came home with like 8 big fishes, and out of all those 8, I think we only caught one ourselves. Yeah. So it was really fun, and we're planning to go next month too. We want to make it a tradition to go every May, which is summer, May of the year, to always go fishing. I wanted to also talk about how people, when they hear you come from Africa, they just assume like from the forests we have lions everywhere, like wild animals. Like no, we also see the wild animals in the zoo. Like most people believe when you just tell them you're from Nigeria, from Africa, from Sierra Leone, and the next thing is like, oh, do you see lions? Do you see tigers? Like I learned you see them on the streets. I'm like, which streets? Like no, we also see the wild animals in the zoo. Like we don't see them everywhere. Of course we have animals, but the wild ones, no, they're down there, maybe in the safari or something. But so most people always just believe like we're from the forest, the bush, like we live in huts or something. So I may show some pictures of nice places in Nigeria.
Yeah.
We have like modern places, schools, hospitals, good roads and all that, like beautiful buildings and all that. So it's not, so when we also want to see wildlife, we travel to those places to see it. So there's a video I always see around where a lady says, oh, people say I come from Africa, and so she will show herself in her house, like, and then she will show herself in the forest. Like I do go to the forest to catch fun too. I don't live there. We just go there to do 1 or 2 things. Of course, we have some remote places like the villages that are like in the bush, in the forest, but not necessarily we live under leaves and all that. Yeah, so that's one of the misconceptions about Nigeria.
So where you were from, is it more of a city? Was it a village, a town?
Like in between, because as I said, I'm from Kogi State, like my state of origin. Kogi State is like the middle belt of Nigeria, but where I lived is in the northern part. So the northern part of Nigeria is really not like the developed part. It's far from the country capital, from Abuja, so it's not really developed. Of course, I worked in the country capital, that's Abuja, in this FCT. I worked there, and it has more of, it's just like the Ontario of Canada, and so where I lived was like maybe said Manitoba, not say Manitoba is not developed, but how, so that was where I lived. So not really very, very developed, but had the basic things.
Was it fairly like large or small, or? No,
it was quite smaller. If I have the map, I'll show you where we were staying. Maybe just show. Yeah. It was okay. It was pretty okay.
Thank you so much.